Firstly, we feel we are part of the police investigation just as much as the investigating officers. We spend much of our time, as I imagine most of the country does, thinking of scenarios which took Jo from being alive in her flat to being found dead by the side of a country lane. These scenarios change as events unfold and new facts are made available. For over 4 weeks, there has been extensive media coverage of Jo's disappearance and subsequent murder. The last few weeks have included an extensive festive period. Many people will have probably been socialising and spending extra time with family and friends. Nearly the whole country has been moved by the tragic events surrounding Jo's murder. Many of us are armchair detectives, but if this activity triggers anything, please come forward. If you know something and you do not come forward, you are consciously hampering the apprehension of Jo's killer, and the perpetrator is still free. You will also be prolonging the torment of Jo's family and friends. Do you know anyone who hasn't been shocked or disturbed by the events surrounding Jo's murder? Has anyone you know had an unusual or inexplicable reaction? Was their behaviour unusual on the weekend of the 17th to the 19th of December, all throughout the past 4 weeks? Do you know someone who's been behaving out of character, either by actions or deeds? Do you know someone who has become inexplicably reclusive, quiet, or vocal? Jo's body was taken to Longwood Lane. Did anyone use a car at an unusual hour, or did anyone borrow your car? As mentioned above, scenarios surrounding Jo. Has someone tried to impress on you a scenario which has been inconsistent with the information released by the police at that time, or refused to change their scenario? It would appear the nation is shocked and appalled by what has happened to our daughter. Do you know someone who has been somehow justifying her being killed? Many people surely know what has happened to Jo and where they are at risk, and if so, what they can do to protect themselves. Something apparently insignificant could trigger the killer to kill again. Please help us to identify the killer. Jo is probably acquainted with her killer. We are sure that the killer will be brought to justice. When this happens, please think how you will feel if you knew the killer and you had questions in your mind which you consciously refuse to act on.
We want to try and do everything we can to bring a conclusion to this. The last few weeks have been an absolute nightmare, and we want to do everything we can to make sure every bit of information is picked up as quickly as possible, so a conclusion can be made to all this. And I feel that this is the first real appeal we've made for specific information, specific type of information, and we want to be part of it. And it's something we feel strongly about. And really it's trying to get people to sort of help understand how we feel and how they might feel if they don't bother coming forward because they feel it can't possibly be that person or that person. And that really is it, is to try and bring an earlier conclusion as possible, get all the information we can to get an early conclusion as possible to this situation we're in.